What's up, Party Chat Sports? It's one of your hosts, Caleb Gill, getting ready for your parlay of the week. It's been a minute since I've done one of these. Dylan did last week, and only 2 more weeks, including this week, for the regular season parlay of the weekend. As you see, I am repping Ohio State today, as I'm recording this on Friday, December 29th, hoping that my Buckeyes put an ass whooping on Missouri this evening. So by the time you see this, hopefully Ohio State has won that game, and I'm sure me saying this and doing this will not come back to bite me in the rear end in any way, shape, or form. But not going to take too much more of your time talking about Ohio State. Let's talk about your parlays for week 17 of the NFL season. We're going to start off with the ones that I've done every time, right? We're going to the 49ers, and we are going to, of course, take Christian McCaffrey anytime touchdown. Seems easy. He's scored in, it feels like, almost every game, but like 1 or 2 since he's joined 49ers. So I think it's safe to assume that an anytime touchdown by Christian McCaffrey is almost as safe of a bet as you can possibly make. Also in that 49ers game, they're taking on the Commanders. San Francisco, yes, they did just get their rear ends handed to them by the Baltimore Ravens, but the Ravens are about to lock up the number 1 seed in the AFC. I firmly believe they beat the Dolphins this week and do clinch that number 1 seed. So, yeah, it does suck that the 49ers lost the way they did to the Ravens, but it's not like the Commanders are even in the same tier as the Ravens or even the 49ers. 49ers are going to want to come back hard, right? They are going to want to prove that they are still a dominant team in the NFC, still trying to clinch that number 1 seed in the NFC, and I think they're going to lay the hammer down on the Commanders. The spread right now, the 49ers are currently 14-point favorites in this one. I got the 49ers. Give me 49ers minus 14 as favorites against the Commanders. I think it's going to be a blowout. It's going to be quick. I say 17 or more points. 49ers beat the Washington Commanders. Another game that usually with the Eagles, right, we're going to bet on the Eagles. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown is usually the safe bet. Fair, right? But I decided to go with another running score, or a guy that scores a lot of his touchdowns on the ground to score anytime touchdown. And that's DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift keeps falling 1 yard short of the end zone, and we're still getting that Jalen Hurts push touchdown. But with the odds that DeAndre Swift has for anytime touchdown, I think he's bound to get one against the Cardinals. I do think he is going to score a touchdown against the Cardinals. And I got to double check his odds. I believe it's like plus 100 for anytime touchdown. And it is plus 100 anytime touchdown for DeAndre Swift. I'd rather that anytime touchdown over Jalen Hurts minus, let me double check this, minus 280. Give me DeAndre Swift plus 100 anytime touchdown score against the Cardinals. He's going to get one on the ground. Staying in that Arizona game, Arizona-Philly, the over-under on this is 48. One of the higher over-unders of the week. Not even the Dolphins and Ravens is 48 heading into this week. I think it's going to be under. So your under of the week is Cardinals at the Philadelphia Eagles. I think the Eagles are going to get their points, but I struggle to think that the Cardinals are going to get theirs. The Cardinals, since that Browns game where Clayton Tune came in, here are some of the scores or the numbers, point totals that the Cardinals have put up. So they put up 0 points with Clayton Tune as a quarterback against the Browns. Kyler Murray comes back against the Falcons. They put up 23. And 16 against the Texans in a loss. 14 against the Rams in a loss. 24 against the Steelers in a win. 29 against the 49ers in a loss, but that was a blowout. And then 16 against the Bears. So in most of these losses, except for the 49ers game, they're getting 16 or less points per game in these losses. I think the Cardinals do lose to the Eagles. And since Kyler Murray's been back in their losses outside of that 49ers game, it's been 16 points or less. I don't think the Cardinals score many points against the Eagles. The Eagles are vulnerable to teams scoring on them. But I think this week they're going to clamp down on the Cardinals. They're going to get the job done. And that 48 points is not going to hit. The only way it does is if the Eagles just completely steamroll, blow them out, and put up a crap ton of points. And then the Cardinals get some garbage time scores. That's the only way I see 48 points being close or being touched in this Cardinals-Eagles game. So give me Cardinals-Eagles as your under of the week. I mentioned the Dolphins-Ravens game. That's my over. I'm betting the over on the Dolphins-Ravens. 46.5 for the over-under. This is going to be a high-scoring game. Yes, the Ravens both teams have good defenses, but they also have very good offenses. Jalen Waddle may not play, but I think still with Tyreek Hill and the run game that the Dolphins have, they're going to get their points against the Ravens. I do ultimately think the Ravens win. I didn't put that on the parlay, but I do think over 46.5 is going to be, I think 46.5 over that is a safe bet for the Ravens, Dolphins. Lamar Jackson going to try continuing his MVP campaign, trying to win his second MVP, and he's going to have another big game. Guys like Isaiah Likely are coming on strong. Zay Flowers should be playing. And then just Lamar being Lamar. I think 46.5 is a safe bet. And fun fact, the Ravens are wearing their black tops on purple bottoms. I believe they're undefeated. I believe it's 3-0 when they wear that uniform combination. They're trying to clinch the 1 seed. They're going to need a lot of points, I think. I think it's going to be a back and forth kind of game. A lot of points are going to be had. Give me 46.5 over that for Dolphins and Ravens. Staying in the AFC East, Buffalo. Buffalo Bills take on the New England Patriots. And I thought about taking the Bills as a favorite, but they're 14-point favorites against the Patriots. And yeah, can the Bills do that? Absolutely. But do I feel comfortable betting on minus 14 against the Patriots? Not with the Bills. It's Bill Belichick. He knows how to play his AFC East opponents. And the Patriots have won a few games. They kept it close a couple times in recent weeks. So give me Bills money line. I think that's safer. And we're trying to finally get a win here at Party Chat Sports in these parlays. So give me Bills money line against the Patriots. I'm not going to touch that minus 14. If it was a little bit lower, I'd probably take the Bills as the favorites, but just give me Bills money line in this one. And then I got two more legs, and they're both yards totals. Puka Nacua. What a story he's been. I mentioned him just having a fantastic game earlier this week on the recap episode. Puka Nacua's yards totals for this week is 68.5. Against the Giants, I think he's going to have another heyday. 68.5. Give me the over on that for Puka Nacua. His last 4 weeks, he has 80-plus yards 3 times. He's got over 100 yards twice. He had a 50-yard game in there, but overall, he's getting 80 or more in recent weeks. And this is with Cooper Kupp in the fold, too. So give me Puka Nacua over 68.5 over the Giants. I think he's going to have a big day. The Giants' defense isn't... I'm not worried too much about the Giants' defense. And with the way Matthew Stafford's slinging it and finding Nacua, finding his guy, even when you have a former Triple Crown wide receiver on the roster, Puka Nacua is still getting his touches, his yards. So give me Puka Nacua over 68.5. Now our 8th and final leg of the parlay, we're going to head over to the Steelers and Seahawks game. And I kept going back and forth on this one. Like, I don't know if I want to do this or not, but give me George Pickens over 52.5 yards. I said it, I'm doing it. I think 52.5 is manageable. I think 53 yards or more for George Pickens is doable. So here's a couple numbers I found out running some George Pickens. With Mason Rudolph as quarterback, I mean, last week he popped off for a ton of yards. It was like $190 something. It was a lot of yards. When he has Mitch Trubisky as his quarterback this year, or when in games that Mitch Trubisky has played at quarterback, Pickens has totals of 47 yards, 19, 86, 25, 22. So about 30, less than 40 yards per game in games that Mr. Trubisky has started. Or not necessarily started, but played in. In games that Mr. Trubisky has not played in. Again, Mr. Trubisky didn't step on the field, didn't register a stat in these games. Pickens is averaging 76.8 yards per game, and that is, I didn't even add the Cincinnati game to that total because I knew that was just going to inflate the number drastically. I wanted to see, sometimes it's best to take your best game, your worst game, take those out of the mix, and kind of average it out. I took every total for George Pickens without Mr. Trubisky playing, and also not including his dominant performance against the Bengals because I didn't want that to inflate the number as much as it would have. He's averaging close to 77 yards per game in games that Mr. Trubisky does not play. With Mason Rudolph starting, as long as he stays healthy throughout the entire game, he found him early and often last week against the Bengals. I expect him to do much of the same. I think 52.5 is a good number for George Pickens, so give me the over on that. So, recap. 49ers, minus 14 at Washington, and Christian McCaffrey, anytime touchdown. Cardinals and Eagles, give me the under at 48, and a DeAndre Swift anytime touchdown. Dolphins and Ravens, give me the over at 46.5. Give me the Bills money line against the Patriots. Puka Nacua over 68.5 yards. And then George Pickens over 52.5 yards. That's your parlay of the week here at Party Chat Sports. Hopefully we finally get a dub. We do not have any winners or any winning parlays yet here at Party Chat Sports. So after what I just cooked up, let's see if it is a fine meal. Let's see if we're feeding everybody well, because it is plus 6,047 odds. So on my $10 bet, I have a chance to win almost $605. It's the holidays, so let's see if see how things go for week 17 after this parlay. We should know early how well this parlay hits. Let me know if you do end up taking on this parlay. Let us know. Share your parlays that you are doing for this week at Party Chat Sports. Make sure you follow on Twitter and X, whatever. Make sure you follow on TikTok. Hopefully we get some more content out there shortly. And then, of course, on YouTube with our weekly episodes. Follow us at Party Chat Sports. Have a great week 17. Hopefully everybody's team does better than mine did on Thursday night. Until then, happy betting.